How often have you said to yourself, why is it so difficult to change my habits? There are several things that limit our ability to change our behavior or habits, but sometimes that answer is as simple as we are often motivated by our negative emotions instead of our positive ones. So whether it's about getting in shape, or it's about quitting an undesirable habit like smoking or drinking, most of us are motivated by our shame, our fear, and our guilt. Now, James Clear, in his book, Atomic Habits, I encourage you to pick up the book. He discusses the 4 laws of behavioral change. And they're really a simple set of rules that we can use to build better habits. You're gonna make it obvious, you're gonna make it attractive, you're gonna make it easy, and the other thing is you're gonna make it satisfying. Very important to be able to do, because with enough practice, and yes, you can practice, your brain will pick up all the cues that predict certain outcomes without consciously even thinking about it. The wiring together of our brain cells kind of makes this new behavior feel routine and easier over a period of time. Now, it requires about 10,000 repetitions, approximately translating to about 3 months of practicing. So you got to develop this new neural pathway, and you got to master this new pattern of behavior. Now, the time frame can fluctuate because each brain is unique. Your brain, my brain, your aunt's brain. Changing our habits leads to changing how we communicate through our behaviors. And so this is not something that's obtained overnight, but it is something that is possible. Identifying cues are a necessary step. Something has to trigger that habit. Now, a cue can be anything, and once you figure that out, it's going to signal you. It's going to tell you that you're in need of practicing a new habit. Now, what we're doing is we want to disrupt the thought process. And once you know the cues, you can throw the bad habits off track in a different format. So we know we can't continue with this old behavioral habit, but in order to make change, we need to replace the old habits with a new one. And as mentioned in Law 3, I mentioned you need to keep it simple. The idea is to keep it actually simple enough that it is easy for you to accomplish. And when your brain feels that sense of accomplishment, it increases that hormone dopamine, which is your achievement hormone. And the higher the dopamine levels in your body, the higher your alertness, your focus, your creativity, your long-term memory, and your concentration. Dopamine is the motivation molecule that's going to drive you to seek rewards in achieving the goals that you want and enables you to take the effort it requires to be successful. So we need to think long-term, because lasting habits are not built overnight. You don't gain muscle by 1 or 2 workouts. You build them by staying consistent over a long period of time. And essentially what you're doing is you're training your brain to make that less traveled path of resistance, that new path to success. Essentially, you are training your brain to make that less traveled path of resistance become the new path to success. So in the end, be sure to persist day after day, week by week, and month by month. And then what you're going to find is at some point, your brain will automatically follow that new path of change, and it will become the 6-lane highway, I like to call it, of all your communication of behaviors, and it will lead you toward a healthier relationship and decision making.